Some people out there like to tell me, oh man, Zebec's not doing anything. I hypothetically disagree with that because I actually think it's doing great things behind the scenes. And let me explain why, even though nothing I say is financial advice. The price of ZBCN may not necessarily show it, but you know what? In terms of the numbers, in terms of the Zebec Network, I think, man, I'm very excited because not too long ago, Zebec posted their monthly volume report when it comes to May, right? And again, I'm talking about the month of May here, but it was regarding its payrolls. And think about this. Its payroll volume for the month of May was allegedly around $40 million, and allegedly 11,000 employees were served. Not to mention, the amount of enterprise clients, catch this, right, is 227. I mean, that is like very impressive, actually, in my opinion. For a project like Zebec, I mean, we're not talking about, ZBCN with a multi-billion-dollar market cap. That's not the case. And it's already doing this. This is what I like about Zebec. Not to mention, when it comes to the Zebec cards, right? Again, when it comes to the rolling 4 weeks annualized, the volume was around $48.5 million, and over 11,000 cards were issued throughout 97 countries. So when I take a look at Zebec, really, I mean, it's not like it's doing bad things, in my opinion, right? I mean, I get it. The price of ZBCN is low comparatively to what it once was. Of course, when I first started talking about it, it's way lower than right now, but I'm just saying because, of course, it had a pullback. But again, we have to take a look at what Zebec is really doing. Payrolls isn't necessarily this sector that people pay attention to, but then what I like about Zebec is that they pay attention to that. They didn't have to. I mean, they could have easily just been like, oh yeah, we're going to be a watered-down version of Ripple and Stellar. But they're like, no, you know what? We're going to add more layers to this. We're going to be focused on AI-based PayFi. We're going to be focused on payrolls. We're going to be focused on RWAs. We're going to be focused on, again, all of that on top of being focused on the global trade and finance and payments market. When I take a look at that type of stuff, how can I think Zebec is bad? This is just my perspective. I'm not telling anyone to believe in ZBCN. I'm not saying that. But then this is just kind of like my perspective when it comes to Zebec. And again, when I take a look at stuff like this, I mean, this is very amazing. I mean, if someone didn't tell me this was Zebec and someone said, hey, it's like a very massive project with like a $1 or $2 billion market cap or something, or like 3-4 billion, whatever, I would believe it because I'd be like, oh, wow, that's a pretty, cool thing. But then Zebec isn't like that. When I take a look at stuff like this, now I'm beginning to understand why something like, Solana Ventures, why something like Circle, which is the creator of USDC, I understand why they kind of backed Zebec early on, I now understand that because I think in the beginning, people probably thought that, oh, when it comes to Circle or like, Solana Ventures, why would they even care about a project like this? But I think they take a look at the fundamentals because I feel like even though Circle and Solana Ventures is very massive and they don't really need to kind of do anything anymore, really, in a sense, like, believing in projects like this, I mean, they didn't necessarily have to do that. Without Zebec, they're already massive anyways, I kind of thought that, probably they know something. Not to mention Circle, allegedly, is a pretty big holder when it comes to ZBCN. Circle, I mean, they're publicly listed. They don't really need to do, any sort of panic selling maybe when it comes to ZBCN. So, again, when I take a look at something like Zebec, I'm very excited. Neither does Solana Ventures. I mean, Solana, take a look at how massive that is as a layer 1 blockchain. And for the people out there that say, oh, the markets are never going to recover, we're going to have to wait another 5 years or 4 years or whatever. In my perspective, this is the way to take a look at it. I mean, even if, let's say, we kind of base this off of history, not saying it's going to be correct, but let's say we just take a look at historically speaking. Historically, altcoins, as a worst case scenario, they typically peak around 18 months after a Bitcoin halving event. Now, we have to think about this. When did the last Bitcoin halving event happen? It happened in April of last year. So we add 18 months on top of that, that's around October this year. So even if, let's say, the market conditions were like, let's say, very favorable, for whatever reason, let's say that is the case, even as of right now, it may not necessarily be a time yet for altcoins to peak as a worst case scenario anyways. So then, why am I panicking? I'm not going to panic, This is just my perspective. I just like to stay calm when it comes to this because I treat this like a marathon. It's like, for instance, let's say I run in a marathon. Let's say it's like 10 miles or whatever. It's kind of like me running the, marathon at my pace. I'm not going to try to be an Olympic medalist or whatever. I'm not trying to be like an athlete. That's not me. I'm just trying to finish the marathon. You know what I mean? So if I kind of view it that way, I'm just going to go at a pace which I feel kind of steady. What do I mean by that? I am not day trading, I'm not using leverage, I'm not swing trading. That's not what I'm doing. And I understand that I cannot control any project because I'm not a part of their team. How can I do that? I can't control the markets. So then what can I do? It is by literally me believing in the projects that do interest me, that I think are pretty interesting and cool, and just dollar cost averaging, just acquiring, holding, and just waiting. Literally, that's it. I mean, beyond that, I can't do anything else. So that's what I'm going to do. 10 cents wouldn't surprise me whatsoever, even though only time will tell. But again, it's just a waiting game for me, and I'm just going to stay patient. That's it. And feel free to subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I'd greatly appreciate it. It's Molly the Captain, and I'll catch you all in the next video. I'm out. Peace. Bye.